Why didn't you tell me? This is the response that many survivors get when they reveal that they were sexually violated. Hi, I am Faith Gore, your mental health coach. Thank you for joining me again today as we continue learning together. This is the sixth of a 7-part series on understanding child abuse, the effects of child abuse, and how to support survivors of child abuse. I just want to celebrate you for making it this far. You are brave. In case you're new here, you're welcome. Please remember to subscribe so that you can get updated on the next upload. And if you haven't watched the previous video, please check it out so that you can better understand what to do when a child tells you that they were violated. Every time I give talks on sexual abuse, I always get a few people who would whisper to me that they were violated in their childhood, but they never told their parents or any adult in their lives. Guys, this is heartbreaking. It's hard to imagine bearing the pain of sexual trauma in silence for 50 years, some over 30 years, some 20, 15, 10 years. And what I usually do is I always celebrate their courage and bravery for honoring their voice by telling. And perhaps you can relate to some of these stories. If you are violated and have never revealed this to anyone, I want you to know that it was not your fault and that you are not alone. Remember, it is okay to tell, and you can find people willing to honor your story when you're ready to tell. When you're ready, choose to reach out for help. The courage will come. Don't suffer in silence. You belong. So why would a child hide that they were sexually violated? Many people believe that perpetrators are strangers or some mean person. What many of us don't believe is that a big percentage of the violation is perpetrated by people who are well known to us or to the child. And these are people we trust. It could be a close relative or an educator in your child's life. So listen, I'm not sharing this to scare you, but to just make you aware of the risks that children face moment by moment. So let's unmask the perpetrator together, shall we? Perpetrators are people who have mastered the art of charming, and they are very friendly and quite likable. They are irresistible to the children a lot of times. And when they have identified their target, they have a way of making them feel special. Either they will give them special treats and ignore the other children. They'll have a special name for this particular child and ignore the other children. Then soon they begin isolating them. How do they isolate them? They make sure that this child either stays behind when the other children have left, or this child comes to see them when the other children are not there or when there's nobody else around. And with time, they will win the trust of the child and that of the family. And after they have won the trust of the child and that of the family, they will attack them by violating them. After they have violated them, they will threaten them that if they tell, they will either kill them or harm them even more. Or if they tell, they will harm their family members. Or if they tell, the perpetrator will harm themselves. And this makes it so complicated for the child because they love the perpetrator and this perpetrator is harming them. So it gets so confusing and a child is filled with a sense of ambivalence. And some will reward the child after they have violated them. Others may condemn and blame the child for violating them. They will tell them, see what you have made me do to you, you child, right? And that makes it hard for the child to tell. So why don't children tell? Some of the reasons why children don't tell is the sense of guilt that has been imposed upon them. And it's usually false guilt, but they don't know. So children may think that they have done something wrong, yet they are the ones who have been wronged. And then with guilt comes self-blame. Either they will blame themselves for not running away, not calling for help, or for allowing this person to violate them. Yet children are not able to protect themselves. It's we adults who are supposed to protect the children. And some of them don't tell because they tend to have the heavy sense of shame. Either they'll feel dirty, they'll feel alone, they'll feel unwanted. And that makes it hard for them to tell. Some don't tell because they don't have a language for what happened to them. And others don't tell because of the sense of ambivalence. This is because they're not sure whether if they tell, they'll be punished, or if they tell, they will be safe. They're not sure about what will happen when they tell. Others fear to be punished. Others think that it's normal. They think that it's a game because that's what perpetrators tell them. They tell them, I have a special game for you, and this game is just between me and you. So they think it's a game, and they think that perhaps every other child experiences that. And sometimes children don't tell because some of us adults are unapproachable. So a child may try having false start stories. For example, they may follow you around in the house. They begin telling you stories, and because you perhaps don't have the patience, you yell at them, you tell them, talk to me quickly, I don't have the time. Sometimes children are trying to tell, but because we are not approachable, they end up not telling. And some of them believed the threat that they were given. And so they believe that when they don't tell, then they're either protecting themselves, the perpetrator, or their loved ones. And the other reason why children don't tell is because they promised not to tell. That's it for today. I'm so glad you're able to learn with me today. Join me again in the next video as we'll be learning how we can create a safe environment for children. See you then.